of all, you'll notice we're going to see a new look and feel for a lot of our key web parts, including the data viewer web part, which we know is a major piece of what we offer within the CRM. We're going to first briefly look at the new concept of favorites as it relates to contacts and accounts. We're then going to look at a new concept we've introduced to CRM called satisfaction ratings. We're also going to see the new BPA tab component that allows you to create dashboards in a new and exciting way. We've introduced a new tool called the Intelligent Relationship Management Tool, or IRM, and this is going to allow you, this will actually suggest contacts that you may want to add to your CRM that are in your Outlook, as well as automatically capturing emails related to contacts that are in your CRM as well. And we'll see that in action and how that works. We've enhanced the campaign management and its capabilities. We've added a new mass email function called Convert to Client. And this is very similar to something that you would see from Constant Contact or MailChimp. However, it's fully SharePoint based and integrated with our lists, so that we'll see that integration in action today. We've also enhanced the send email function from right within our CRM to include lots of new things as well, but most notably actually tracking of various pieces of data on those emails sent, which is a little different than the mass email solution. And we've added, much to a popular demand, a data import wizard that actually adds enhancements over SharePoint copy and paste that allows you to do all the normal field mapping and importing of data not only to a list but also across lists as well. So that's what we're going to focus on today in the next half hour, and we'll see how this happens. So you've raised your hand to know how to see what you're asking. Okay. If any more questions come up, just please post them. All right, let's jump over to the solution and see what we've got. So here's a first look at BPA CRM and Project 2015 on SharePoint 2013. The first thing we want to note is on our home page, the Data Viewer web part's got a new look and feel to it. It's got this gray area. The tabs are not necessarily tabs anymore. They are little clickable items. We still got our same filter views, and then we've got our data that is returned based on the SharePoint view that is related to these tabs. Our same filters are here so that we can filter through lots of data. The pagination is, of course, still supported, and we do have still our JavaScript pop-up to pull up a different SharePoint view without actually having to do a page flip. So on this, we've got two Data Viewer web parts that are configured to show, for me, my logged-in user, Rob.Manfredi, my upcoming tasks, my current events, which are meetings in the future, and all of my opportunities. Let's go ahead and take a look at our accounts. We're now in the accounts list where we've got our Data Viewer pulling in the different accounts, and we see in here the concept of the star, which is our favorite, and the customer satisfaction status. You can see we've also got our custom column in here that's doing total of revenues related to opportunities for these specific accounts. These different views are just simply different ways of looking at accounts, but the concept of a favorite account or favorite contacts are really for a salesperson or a marketing person, things that you're working on today that you want to have quick access to. Right? This is sort of a subset of your accounts, or accounts that, let's say you've got a hot deal going on and you'll kind of want to keep going back to that account over the next couple of weeks quickly. So what we'll do is we can just simply add a couple of these accounts to my favorite accounts. And then you can have a view that can search for just your favorite accounts. Right? Now that's a little different than my accounts, right? But it is more dynamic so that I can turn off accounts and they'll then disappear from my favorite view. I find this very easy to use, and when I'm working on a deal with a client, I put that account, that opportunity, those contacts into my favorites, and it allows me to have a quick view of what I'm looking at. Let's go ahead and now look at the concept of satisfaction rating. And this is something that's new in this version. And what satisfaction rating is doing is it's allowing your people to add a sort of a gut feel to how a specific account or opportunity or contact is going. And right now you can configure the input of a rating on satisfaction, let's say after a meeting. So let's go back here and look at my upcoming events. And I'm having a pricing meeting. So during the outcome of that meeting, after I've met with Boris, I can go ahead and enter essentially a satisfaction rating. So how satisfied was I with that meeting, with the outcomes of the meeting? Do I believe that client is happy or not happy? And this happens a lot. Let's say you're going through an opportunity, it's at 90%, you have a meeting or a phone call, and you come off of that and you're saying, you know, this is not going well, or this person isn't happy. So you can put in a satisfaction rating. And what this does is at the account level or at the contact level, we've got it configured here for the account level. Let's go ahead and look at this account. We can look at the dashboard of all of the various meetings and the level of satisfactions that was equated. So in this case, we're using our chart web part to grab the different points. We've got one that was very satisfied, one that was somewhat satisfied, and that will give us a satisfaction rating of, I believe it is satisfied. So we've got that here in the account details, satisfaction status of 87.5. So you can see as you're aggregating a lot of data, you can kind of see which accounts are satisfied and which are not. And then in our dashboard, we can actually start pulling these together on which accounts are not satisfied and alert you to take action against that. And we'll get to that in a second. So this concept of satisfaction is adding a nice level of human element to the data that's being driven in here on your relationship management. The next concept we want to look at is, the next thing I want to show you is all of our charts are now clickable, which they weren't before. And if you click on any chart, which we'll do this a couple times, it will point you to the underlying list of items that make up that chart. In this case, we were looking at just innovative, with a filtered view of innovative, and we were looking at these two satisfaction values that charted things out. So now we can drill down on all of our charts to the underlying list data beneath it. The next thing I want to take a look at is the account dashboard. Let's go back to accounts and a dashboard. And what we're looking at here is the new BPA tab web part. And we're going to see this throughout the system, where you can actually begin on a single tab view to apply many BPA web parts. Charts, graphs, reports, all in a single view to create essentially this dashboard. And we'll see this when we're looking at the marketing dashboard, the sales dashboard, the services dashboard, and it allows you to create very dynamic views of your information. And in this case, we're looking at a couple different reports and a average client satisfaction rating across all of our clients. We've got down here out of the box as well neglected customers in the last 6 months, and what this means are these are accounts that have had no tasks or appointments set over the last 6 months, and then these are our top customers based on satisfaction value. What's interesting is if we look at these neglected customers, this really is just a report from our reporting side. So we can come in here and we see our neglected customers report. And these neglected customers, oops, I just ran the report. I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Go back. We'll go ahead and edit that report just to show you the way it was generated. The fields we're grabbing are account type, assigned to, account status, account name, and then we're counting up all of the events related to those accounts. Then we take that and we filter that count to anything that has 0 events, 0 tasks, and it is of an account type customer. And then we filter the event date to be today minus 180 days. So what we're seeing here is our advanced reporting feature that allows you to build very customizable reports. Once you have a report, you can then simply attach it to any dashboard and run it in there. So those are all new features in terms of account satisfaction, favorite accounts, and our new BPA dashboard feature using BPA tabs. Now let's move on to the intelligent relationship management aspect of the new release. So we can see here we've got all of our contacts, and of course we've got our favorite contacts as a different view. But what we've also got here is a new action button called Suggested Contacts. And what Suggested Contacts does is you sign up to this service. It's a server-side service that allows you to sign in with your username and password for your email as well as your SharePoint login. And then what we'll do is, based on your most recent activity on emails, we'll suggest contacts that do not already exist within the CRM. And at this point, you can see all of these names have not been added to my CRM. And if I wanted to add Mike to my CRM, I could just simply click Add. It will grab the information from the email automatically and create a contact for you. And this, of course, is our standard BPA form, so you can pre-fill things, create rules, do cascading lookups, and the like. So this is a real nice way to sort of, I've been emailing somebody, I'm working in my CRM, let me take a look at what the suggested contacts are, and quickly add those into the CRM. The other thing that's happening is, for contacts that you currently have within your CRM, we're polling any emails that you receive or you send, and we can automatically attach them to those contacts in the history file. So let's go in here and take a look for Boris. We've got a contact, Boris. If we look at his emails, we've moved in essentially any email that was sent to Boris has been automatically captured in here. So we've got the email body, we've got the email overview, and we've got the email detail, and we can add the attachment as well automatically. This is in responding to it, but the original email would have the attachment down below. So what we're doing now is we're trying to capture as much information that's happening automatically within your field, within your world, and getting it into the CRM. We'll get back on some of the integration, on how this integrates with Exchange, Mitch, after this. The dashboarding and reporting, do we need a specific feature or addition of SharePoint? No, the dashboarding is done with, I need to see if it's included in the professional or only with the enterprise version of BPA CRM, but any version of SharePoint 2013 would work. And yes, we're going to offer this as a recording. And for integration with ERP systems, of course, you can use business connectivity servers to integrate with any external system. We can also use the BPA data connector web part, which allows you to synchronize with any SQL database or whatever other tips and tricks you can use with SharePoint to bring in financial information or pricing information or vendor information or shipping information or pallet information or order information or anything else that we typically do during an implementation project to make your CRM as robust as possible and as connected as possible. Okay, those are just a couple questions that had come in. All right, let's take a look. We still have in our sales system our sales tracking, which is a pretty amazing tool that we've done a couple great implementations on. And in this, what we're doing is taking a look at your pipeline of your team or you're an individual salesperson. The color coding, we can see here we've got our sales funnel. The color coding represents any opportunity that meets a certain criteria that you want to bring to your attention. For example, you could color it red if there is no next appointment related to an opportunity. You may color it blue if it's a new customer, white if it's an existing customer. You may do it pink if it is an opportunity that's been open for more than 60 days. And what this allows you to do is quickly eyeball a very large number of accounts and figure out which one it is you want to dial into, and of course it gives you a little prompt with what's happening in there. What's also nice is in the sales system is you can filter by a specific rep. I just want to see all of the pipeline for me, Rob, and we can see we've got 2 opportunities that are in the proposal stage for me. I can go ahead and change those filters, and I can say, you know what, I want to see just software business lines. And of course, this is ultimately configurable to really filter on any of the fields that are related in your CRM. And of course, you can do some sorting and the like. So the sales system is here. It's very powerful and used. What we have added is using our BPA tab tool, a sales dashboard with preset activity and pipeline management. And we use this internally at BPA, and it really gives us great insight into what's happening. So what we see here is we've created essentially standard reports, so you can enhance these, you can change the reports, you can add more reports, but out of the box we've given you by rep all of the calls that were made this week, all the meetings that were held this week, all of the new opportunities that were created, the value of the pipeline for the week, and how many emails were opened this week as well. And what we do is we have certain KPIs that we track against to make sure we're doing enough calls, enough meetings, enough demos, the pipeline is a certain size to know that we're going to hit our sales numbers. And this is what we use for our sales meetings to review what's going on. We've also added some new pipeline metrics that allow us to see pipeline by factored value, that is value within the pipeline, so if it's at 50%, the value is at 50% and the like. By date and our sales funnel. We can look at our revenues for month to date, year to date, revenue by rep, and won deals. And again, these are just configurable web parts that are put onto this page using the new BPA tab web part so that we can have multiple reports as well as graphics within one page. We've also got our KPIs in here. So we've set certain target values that allow us to say how many calls do we want to be making a week, how many product presentations, how many opportunities, sales pipeline, deals. And essentially we take the numbers from the weekly activity and we put them in here. Our sales admin comes in and says, okay, across all reps, we've added 12 new opportunities on this week. Oops. And you can see now it will show a trend. If we're adding less each week, the trend will go down. If the trend is going up, it's going up. And this helps us with our reporting. You can see here we're tracking KPIs on a monthly value. You can actually create periods on a monthly or quarterly or yearly. If you're going to mix periods, you would actually create a second KPI web part down here, one in months, one in quarters, one in years, and that helps the display look right. Really neat stuff. Of course, we've always got the ability to export your filtered view to a spreadsheet, and we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, moving right along. We're going to go and take a look now at the leads and campaign management. And this has been something that a lot of clients struggle with is how do I nurture my leads that come in to our site, and how do I enable my CRM to send out mass emails for things such as newsletters and the like. So we've got a couple options that we now support within the BPA CRM that I think really moves us to a much higher level enterprise solution. So let's talk first about campaigns. So campaigns now support the ability to bring in multiple lists, distribution lists. So if we look at this campaign, which is an October newsletter, we can see that we've got one distribution list, which is our November leads. But you could have multiple distribution lists associated with a campaign. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the new mass email marketing called Convert to Client. So as you add distribution lists to a campaign, you can synchronize this campaign either in batch mode or on the fly up to the cloud-based mass marketing email called Convert to Client. So let's go ahead and jump into Convert to Client by hitting the send button. What that does is it brings us into the mass marketing tool called Convert to Client. And essentially think of this as a MailChimp or Constant Contact. Essentially you would need to purchase you would purchase credits to deliver emails. The pricing isn't solid, but right now we're looking at about $400 for 50,000 credits, or the ability to send 50,000 emails, which I know is a lot cheaper than a Constant Contact. So you don't have that monthly fee of just storing contacts within the mass marketing, because the contacts are stored in your CRM and just simply synchronized here. So all you're doing is paying for sending emails. If we look at what you can do within the mass email, we're going to look at our October newsletter here, is you can track your opens, you can track your HTML clicks, you can track how many people were in your plain text, your replies, you can add your Google Analytics, your click tracking. So you can see this is a very sophisticated system that allows you to create a very dynamic mass email. The difference here is mass email is for sending to any group that's over 500 users. If you're sending anywhere from 1 to 500 users, you're going to want to use the mass email function within the CRM. Okay? From a content side, you can have all sorts of different templates that you can have in there. You can send a preview, but one of the nice things that Convert to Client does is it will look at your message quality score. And this looks for things for like spam filtering, dynamic headings, call to actions, and things like that, so that you can ensure that the email you're sending out will be read and has the best chance of being open. As those clients open, or any of the data that is created here, opens, HTML clicks, all of that data is automatically synchronized back to all of the contacts and leads within the distribution list. So if we again go back and let's look at Boris, I can see in his email tracking the number of times a certain email, the title is blank, but the title would be here, the number of times it was open, and then all of the other information that he did related to this, such as went to the trial site, shared it with Facebook, and things like that. So all of those events automatically come back and are stored in the history file with that contact, which is very important for me as a salesperson to know that when I look at a new lead, I can see how active they were in moving through our site. So Convert to Client, an amazing new feature that is included with the solution. You do need to buy credits, though, to send emails through it. And again, that was roughly 50,000 credits for $400 or so. There was a question about these emails that come in. These are not pointers. These emails are actually in here. And you can configure the date range of emails you want to keep in here so that you don't end up with millions of emails. So you could say keep the last 6 months worth of emails in my CRM and then archive them out. Okay, so we just talked about campaigns, email tracking, and the like. I now want to take a look at another thing that we do and walk you through the entire process. You come back from a trade show. You've got a bunch of leads, right? You got 10,000 leads or 500 leads or something like that. There's two ways you can handle those. The first way is to simply only push them up to the Convert to Client mass email function and send out an email to all of those, welcoming them to BPA and giving them a call to action to go to a landing page. That landing page, which you've seen our BPA white paper, will have a contact form. That contact form can automatically be generated by your CRM so that the contact, when they fill out the form, is automatically put in as a lead in your lead section. And that's the same Web Connect BPA that we've always had. And that's what we do here at BPA. You come to the BPA website, you sign up for a trial, you sign up for a white paper download. That information automatically creates a lead in here. And that qualified lead is followed up by a sales rep. At the same time, that lead is put into what we call a lead nurture program. And that lead nurture program is essentially a SharePoint workflow, standard SharePoint workflow, that sends an email to those leads on day 1, day 5, day 15, day 30, and day 60. And they're introducing that person to all sorts of different things within BPA. That's done right within our mass email function. So let's go down here. How's the best way to do that? I'll show you what those. If you've signed up for any of that stuff, you've seen those. Let's go back to our friend Boris. And we'll go ahead and send him an email. This goes into our email function. And I'm going to look at my templates and add the Take a Tour template. So this is one of the templates that the workflow sends right from the CRM, not from Convert to Client, on day, I think it's day 5. And it's take a tour of the BPA CRM with SharePoint today. There's our first name, watch one of our videos, access a free trial. Now what's interesting and new to our send email function that makes this possible, right? So I know you all know this is here, but from a lead nurturing standpoint, right, that's an email sent to a person that the workflow triggers on certain days. We are now tracking delivery notifications, open rates. Actually, it's the open rate that's key. So that this will come back to Boris if he opens this email as part of his activity stream. So as I'm working through my leads, let's say I call them on day 1, I don't get an answer, I leave a message, I come back 5 days later to call again, and I look and I say, oh, he's got his take a tour and he clicked on it, I know he's interested in that, I can go ahead and then have a more meaningful conversation. So rather than putting all of your leads into your CRM, you can put your leads into Convert to Client. As they Convert to Client sends out an email bringing them into your website. When they come to your website, they fill out a form. That form actually makes them a hot lead that comes into your CRM and then puts them into this lead nurture program. So lots of ways to work with your clients to help nurture those very important leads that you spend lots of money on in order to turn them into prospects and opportunities and the like. So very cool stuff there. New features with our send email here, new module with our Convert to Client, and the like. However, if you don't want to use Convert to Client and you do come back with a spreadsheet full of leads, we heard you. It's very difficult in SharePoint to copy and paste all of those leads into the CRM, right? That's a SharePoint problem that we've decided that we're going to go and fix. And we fixed that with our new import wizard. I can hear the applause from here. What the import wizard does is it allows you to take a file, a CSV file, an Excel file, comma delimited, space delimited file, and import it. And essentially it's going to do the same thing that you would expect. It takes the source names. We can here take a look at the file. Gives you a good little preview of the file. Gives you the tab, semicolon, comma, or space. Once you've got that, you can then map your fields. Now we do a couple cool things here on the field mapping, in that you can take the source field and map it to your list field. You can enforce uniqueness, so that, let's say for email address, you may want to force uniqueness on email so that you're not putting in a duplicate contact. You can also select your source from the CSV file, from a custom value, or you can concatenate columns together so that you can pull together two columns and merge them into one. So for example, full name would be a concatenated column of first name and last name. Okay, something like that. So what we do when we get a lead that we want to import, we want to set the value to cold to start, right? So you could say, I want to take, I don't think we have a lead status, but if we want to assign all of these to a person, we could just put in their name and off they go. You can also look up fields within your SharePoint list and say, I'm going to assign the assigned to one of the choice fields within my SharePoint list on the destination list we're pushing this to. So it's more than just a data wizard. It actually allows you to look up values, bring them in, and do this merge once, do it right. And unlike SharePoint, where there's a 100 record limit, we actually can import 1,000 records at a time and also support that concatenation that we talked about. Okay. So I think we've gone through a lot of the major features that are new here. We still, obviously, we have pulled together project management within CRM, so it is included. It is not a separate project, and that was true in the last version. That continues to be true now. We've got our case management, and what's nice with the case management is we've added a nice dashboard function so that we can measure our KPIs in terms of cases by month, open cases by person, time to close days, and again, accounts to pay attention to. So again, this is using our new BPA tab web part to build these dashboards and the like. Let me just check our questions. Oops, scroll down. MS Project is not a requirement. This is our own project system. It is not as extensive as MS Project. What we do with this project is anytime you want to bring together multiple resources to work on a specific task or project, such as creating a proposal or answering, working on a case that's a solution for a person, and that you've got dependencies. So it supports the Microsoft Gantt chart feature. We also have a Gantt chart web part. But I call it the light projects that you do every day with accounts that need to be done by multiple resources. The system is available in multiple languages. We support 22 languages at this point, I believe. And of course, there are language files that can be created. Documents title, the whole subject of content archive management, time allowing, does... Yeah, so you can, the campaign management allows you to unsubscribe through a link, and that's included in the template. And please go through the process of how to include documents in client accounts. So there's a couple ways. We do support drag and drop of adding documents. So let's go ahead and just take a look at a contact, since that's what you asked. We'll look at our friend Boris. And in this case, we can add an attachment. We can either create it on the fly, or we can upload it from our hard drive. We can browse, we can use Explorer, or if we're in the Attachments tab and it's turned on, I'm not too sure if it is, We should be able to take a document and drag and drop it right in here. There you go. So we've just added that document. If you want to edit the metadata, of course you're presetting the metadata to things such as the account and the contact that we were related to, but then you can go ahead and filter it down to a specific opportunity, to an email, if you wanted to a specific event, and create those many-to-many relationships that BPA's solution does so well. All right, well, we've seen a lot today. We've done a lot of performance improvements. We've done a lot of enhancements from the UI perspective. And what we would love to do is we are now doing a lot of proof of concepts. So in addition to having access to the discovery site, we are enabling clients to do on-site trials as well as dedicated trials within our cloud environment. And what this allows you to do is do some configuration that other people can't see, allow you to put up some data that's yours, that's private to you, allow you to showcase what CRM can do to your organization on a site that you know is not going to change, unlike the shared site. So please contact us, and we'd be happy to talk about what it is you're currently doing. If you need migration help, if you need migration from a current CRM such as Salesforce to ours, we've done lots of those, and we're here to help you. Again, I'm Rob Manfredi. There's my email address, rob.manfredi@bpa-solutions.net. On our website, this webinar will be up there tomorrow. We'll also be receiving an email from me for attending, and I hope to talk with you soon. Thank you all very much.